What's up, guys? It's Dylan E. Welcome to my first ever story time. Without further ado, let's get right into it. But before I get into it, one quick flex is that all the 3D animations were done by me myself. So it's going to be the story of the first time I ever took acid. So this story took place when I was 15 years old. I had already tried shrooms before, but I hadn't really tripped super hard off of them. So I didn't really have any experience actually tripping. And so my friend at the time, who was a lot older, I believe he was 19 at the time, so he was a lot older, probably shouldn't have been giving some of my age, something like that. He had apparently gotten some from some hippie people that he had met, and he had told me that if I didn't try it with him, then I would probably never get the chance to again, which was definitely not true. But at the time I was so young, I didn't really know, and I had always been interested in it. I had heard a lot of stories about it. I had good things about it. I heard that it puts holes in your brain. So I'd heard all kinds of things. But from the stories, some people that had actually taken it were really good things I had heard. So I was really interested in trying it. I was just like, fuck it, let's do it. So we were at his house. He lived with his grandma, and he lived upstairs. And where I lived back then when I was a kid was upstate New York. For those of you guys who've never been to upstate New York or ever seen upstate New York, it's all just trees. It's very rural. It's nothing like you would think of New York City. We took the tabs. We both started with half a tab. Now this was just fluff, white on white. It wasn't like blotter paper or the design. If you guys don't know what white on white or fluff is, it's kind of like construction paper almost. Really thick paper that they just put the acid on. It doesn't normally have lines on it. If it does, they're usually just drawn on instead of it being perforated. So you don't really know exactly how big or small of a dose you're taking. But we took half of what we thought was one tab. And we kind of hung out for a bit. We were playing the Xbox One. I think he had Advanced Warfare at the time. We were playing Dying Light. And nothing was really happening. We didn't really feel much. We were ripping the vape. I remember my friend, he had a huge crazy box mod back then. It was the flex back then, was having a huge box mod. Big giant, like, yo, I'm blowing clouds, bro. You know? And after about 30 minutes to an hour, we thought it wasn't working. We were like, oh, it's bunk. Let's just try the other half. Because I think we had 2 tabs to start with, and we just both took half of one, so that was 1 tab. So we had another tab, so we decided to both take another half of that tab. And as soon as that second half of the tab hit my tongue, I started feeling the first one hard. It floored me. I remember I was just laying on the ground. His ceiling was like a triangle, and it had beams, like wood beams, and they were just like morphing and melting, and I was just on the ground, like, couldn't even tell you my name, like, nothing even existed besides what I was experiencing in that moment. And I just remember being so just amazed by everything. Every little thing was just amazing to me. I was getting lost on the carpet. I had one of those Mexican blankets with trippy designs all over. I was touching it. And it was just, I was totally mind blown. Like, I couldn't even come up with sentences. I couldn't speak, really. I was just floored. And I was very young, so that might have been part of the reason. But I think it was also some really fire acid. But at some point, we decided to go outside. And where he lived, it's a loop, and it's just all trees in between a few houses. It's very private. So we were just walking around. I remember staring at the stars, and never seen the stars how I saw them that night. It was just, they were endless. It's infinite. It was always there, I'm sure, but I just had never paid attention. And what really made this experience so life-changing to me was I was just getting lost in everything. I was seeing the patterns in everything. I was recognizing the geometric shapes in the blades of the grass. I was looking at the sky, and I was seeing webs of just energy interconnecting between all the dark matter and the stars and the planets. And everything just was so amazing to me. I was like a child experiencing everything for the first time again. Like, I had been dead my whole life, and all of a sudden in that moment, I took my first breath. That's really what it felt like. So at some point, we decided for whatever reason we should go in the woods because my friend, he had a wooden swing just in the middle of the woods. It was kind of creepy, but it was also really cool. We started going in the woods, and I remember I was definitely a little bit scared just because I felt so vulnerable at the time. I just remember we sat on the swing and we were swinging in the swing, and it was just pitch black all around us. I remember seeing little red dots all over, everywhere, on top of everything. I had pretty good night vision, but it was super dark. And it gave me this memory of when I was a kid. And this one time when I was a kid, I was very young, probably like 3 or 4 or 5, around that age. And I was trying to sleep. I used to have a lot of trouble sleeping when I was a kid. I was almost like an insomniac as a child, which is weird. I started seeing the same red dots all over everything when I was a kid. I thought I was being attacked by demons or something, so I ran to my parents' bedroom, woke them up. But in that moment, I had that same memory. And all of a sudden, I started having all these memories of all these times when I was a kid where I had seen these visual type of patterns or geometric designs on top of everything. And that's when I realized that I had always kind of been tapped into what I was experiencing in that moment. I just had never really acknowledged it before. That really changed my perspective on life. There was so much more going on around me that I had almost always known it, but really put it in the front of my mind. So around that time, we were still sitting on the swing. My other friend who lived down the street from that friend, he came and met us in the woods. And that friend, he was always a trip, and not a good trip. He was always bad vibes. I remember he came, and the vibes were just bad. I think he had just gotten back from work or hang out with his girlfriend or something. And he was just miserable. And we were just like, bro, like, I remember we were looking at each other like, this is bad. Like, he was just ruining our trip. And if you guys ever tripped and never been around someone that's bad vibes, you know exactly what I'm saying. I think eventually, or, you know, honestly, I think he didn't even really want to be around us. We were just, like, stupid. When you're tripping, sometimes it's like you're on such a high frequency that people that are just baseline, like, not tripping, it's like you can't even communicate. Like they're speaking a different language from you. So that's pretty much how it was, and he ended up leaving. And I remember me and my friend at that point, we smoked some weed. I think we had a one hitter, like we had a one hitter, one of those little, looks like a cigarette, and you just put like one tiny hit of weed in it and you hit it. And I remember we hit it, and it was just took me to another level. I could barely even handle it. So we went and we migrated. He had a big deck in his front yard. So we were just sitting on the deck staring at the stars. And it was so beautiful. I was just lost in it. I kept playing that one Odessa song. It's like, it goes, how did I get here? Over and over and over again. And this is the best time of my life. As I was playing that Odessa song, staring at the stars there, I knew that this was something that was magical. That it had just opened my eyes. It had taken the veil off of everything. I could see how everything was connected. I could see how everything was infinite. And I felt a part of it. And I knew that I had to explore this more. I knew that this was something that I wanted to feel again, and I wanted to understand. And being so young, that's a dangerous thing. I don't regret it. I think these experiences really made me who I am, and I feel like the person I am isn't the same as anyone else I've ever met because of those experiences. So eventually, probably after 8 hours of tripping or so, we decided that it was time to settle down, and I was laying on the floor. He was in his bed, and he was playing some random cartoons or something in the background, but I wasn't focused on that at all. I was just lost in my mind. I was seeing crazy visions, like vivid faces and entities, almost not communicating, but just seeing it, and just crazy geometric patterns. I just had my eyes closed, and I was just out of my body, just going through the void for hours and hours and hours, and we didn't sleep at all that night. I think eventually my friend got himself to fall asleep. I was just laying there with my eyes closed, just experiencing the ether for the first time vividly in my life, and just knowing that I wanted to get the most out of this that I could, because I could tell there was a lot to get out of it for me. I wasn't really sure of it yet, of what it was or what I was going to get out of it, but I knew it was something good. And the next day finally comes by. I don't think I slept at all. I seen the sun come up. It was beautiful. There's nothing like seeing the sun come up the morning after an acid trip. There's nothing like it. And I had the craziest afterglow. I just felt amazing for weeks after. I didn't feel sad or scared. I just felt confident and strong for so long after. That one experience ended up leading me to take it lots and lots and lots of times. I wouldn't say that's a good idea for anyone else, but that's what happened to me. Seems like I'm okay. But I have lots of other stories to share. That one wasn't very crazy. It was just the first time. It's a chill story. I had a really good experience. But I had bad experiences. I had crazy experiences. And I'll definitely share some of those. I think I might do next smoking DMT for the first time for my next story time. So if you made it this far and you want to see that, or you have any other things similar, like taking shrooms or something, let me know. Or worst trip. I got lots of stories. But hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, yo.
Learn from mistakes, it's okay if I bleed. Most don't be practicing what they be preaching.